Some songs never lose their power to lift your spirits. They cross generations, outlive trends, and remain as fresh today as the day they were recorded. The 1960s gave us melodies that stuck in your head for days, choruses you couldn't help singing along to, and rhythms that made it impossible to sit still. These weren't just hits. They were infectious pieces of musical joy that continue to bring smiles decades later. Here are the top 15 catchy songs from the 60s that still make you smile. Number 15. Sugar, Sugar by the Archies. The year was 1969, and a cartoon band achieved what most real musicians only dreamed of. Sugar, Sugar by the Archies became one of the biggest hits of the entire decade, spending 4 weeks at number 1 on the Billboard Hot 100. The Archies weren't a traditional band. They were animated characters from a Saturday morning cartoon show, but the music was very real. Studio musicians, led by session guitarist Ron Dante on lead vocals, created a sound so irresistibly catchy that listeners didn't care about the band's fictional status. Written by Jeff Barry and Andy Kim, Sugar Sugar was originally offered to the Monkees, who turned it down. The song's simple structure and sweet lyrics made it instantly memorable. Its bubblegum pop sound defined an entire subgenre of music that prioritized fun and catchiness above all else. The song won Billboard's Record of the Year for 1969, beating out more critically acclaimed tracks from established artists. Number 14. Happy Together by the Turtles. The Turtles transformed from a folk rock band into pop hitmakers with Happy Together in 1967. The song spent 3 weeks at number 1 on the Billboard Hot 100 and became the group's signature tune. Written by Gary Bonner and Alan Gordon, it captured the optimistic spirit of the mid-60s. Before Happy Together became the Turtles' property, it was rejected by numerous artists. When the Turtles finally heard it, they recognized something special. They reworked the arrangement, adding their distinctive vocal harmonies. Howard Kaylan and Mark Volman shared lead vocal duties, their voices blending perfectly on the chorus. The production by Joe Wysert emphasized the song's commercial appeal. The backing track featured a simple but effective bass line that anchored the arrangement. Happy Together represented a shift in the Turtles' musical direction toward a more accessible pop style. This change paid off commercially, establishing them as one of the era's most successful groups. The song's enduring popularity stems from its universal theme and irresistible melody. The fantasy of perfect romantic harmony resonates across generations. Happy Together became more than just a hit. It became a cultural touchstone that continues to bring joy. Number 13. I'm a Believer by the Monkees.
Then I saw her face. Now I'm a believer.
Neil Diamond wrote I'm a Believer in 1966, but the Monkees made it a phenomenon. The song topped the Billboard Hot 100 for 7 weeks and sold over 10 million copies worldwide, becoming one of the best-selling singles of the 1960s. The Monkees were created for a television show about a struggling rock band. Critics dismissed them as corporate puppets, but their music connected with audiences. I'm a Believer exemplified everything that made the Monkees successful. The song was catchy, energetic, and performed with genuine enthusiasm. Mickey Dolenz handled lead vocals, bringing energy and charm to Diamond's composition. The arrangement featured a driving beat, prominent organ, and harmonies that made the chorus impossible to resist. Producer Jeff Barry understood how to create records that grabbed listeners immediately.
Then I saw her face. Now I'm a believer.
Recording sessions utilized top Los Angeles session musicians. These skilled players provided the instrumental foundation, while the Monkees contributed vocals and personality. The combination created something greater than the sum of its parts. I'm a Believer succeeded beyond anyone's expectations. It outsold the Beatles during its chart run, a remarkable achievement. The song proved that great pop music transcends debates about authenticity. What mattered was how it made people feel, and I'm a Believer made millions feel wonderful.
Then I saw her face. Now I'm a believer.
Number 12, Everyday People by Sly and the Family Stone. Sly and the Family Stone released Everyday People in 1968, creating an anthem of unity that topped the Billboard Hot 100 for 4 weeks. The song's message of acceptance and equality resonated during a turbulent time in American history. Sly Stone wrote and produced the track, combining social consciousness with irresistible grooves. The song's genius lay in its simplicity. Rather than preaching, Everyday People presented its message through a bouncy, infectious rhythm. The production was stripped down, focusing on the bass line, drums, and vocals. Sly and the Family Stone were groundbreaking in their composition. The band featured both black and white members, men and women, creating a living example of the integration they sang about. Their music put these principles into practice. Everyday People became more than just a hit record. It became a statement that music could bring people together across racial and cultural lines. During a period of significant social upheaval, the song offered hope. The song's lasting appeal comes from its combination of musical excellence and positive message. The groove remains infectious over 50 years later. Everyday People proved that socially conscious music didn't have to sacrifice catchiness. It could make you think while making you dance. Number 11, Good Vibrations by the Beach Boys. The Beach Boys spent 6 months creating Good Vibrations in 1966, an unprecedented investment for a pop single. Brian Wilson's ambitious production combined multiple recording sessions at different studios. The result was a #1 hit that redefined what pop music could achieve. Wilson approached Good Vibrations like a symphonic work, building it section by section. He used different studios to capture different sounds, then edited the pieces together. This modular approach was revolutionary for its time. The song featured unusual instruments for a pop record, including a theremin that created the distinctive wavering sound. Wilson layered vocals, creating harmonies so complex they seemed impossible. The production was meticulous. Mike Love contributed the lyrics, writing verses that captured a feeling of transcendent joy. The Beach Boys' vocal performance brought everything together, their harmonies providing the human warmth that made the experimental production emotionally resonant. Good Vibrations represented the peak of Brian Wilson's creative powers. Critics and audiences alike recognized something special was happening. The song won widespread acclaim and has been consistently ranked among the greatest recordings ever made. The commercial success proved that audiences would embrace ambitious, complex pop music if it was executed well. It made people smile not just because it was catchy, but because it represented human creativity at its finest. Number 10, Louie Louie by the Kingsmen. The Kingsmen recorded Louie Louie in 1963 for about $36, creating one of the most influential rock records of all time. The song's raw, garage band sound captured something essential about rock and roll energy. It reached number 2 on the Billboard Hot 100. Richard Berry wrote Louie Louie in 1955, but it took the Kingsmen's version to make it famous. The Portland, Oregon band recorded their take in a single session at a local studio. Lead singer Jack Ely positioned himself awkwardly to reach the ceiling-mounted microphone, resulting in the famously unintelligible vocals. The recording was deliberately crude. The band wanted to capture the energy of their live performances, and they succeeded. The drums were loud and unpolished. The guitar work was simple but effective. These qualities made Louie Louie stand out from more polished productions. Controversy erupted over the supposedly obscene lyrics, though they were actually innocent. The FBI conducted a 2-year investigation and found nothing objectionable. The controversy only increased the song's popularity. Louie Louie became an anthem for garage bands across America. Its simple 3-chord structure meant almost anyone could learn to play it, inspiring countless young musicians. The song's influence on rock music cannot be overstated. The enduring appeal of Louie Louie lies in its pure, unfiltered energy. It sounds like teenagers having fun, which is exactly what it was. That authenticity transcended the decades, keeping the song fresh and exciting. Number 9. The Twist by Chubby Checker. Chubby Checker's version of The Twist achieved something unprecedented in chart history. The song reached number 1 twice, in 1960 and again in 1962, making it the only record to accomplish this feat in different chart runs. Checker's energetic performance and the accompanying dance craze made The Twist a cultural phenomenon. Hank Ballard originally wrote and recorded The Twist in 1959, but it was Checker's cover that caught fire. Dick Clark featured Checker performing the song on American Bandstand, introducing both the music and the dance to millions of viewers. The combination proved irresistible.
And do the twist. My daddy is sweet.
The song's appeal lay in its simplicity. The dance required no special skills or training. Anyone could twist their hips and arms in time with the music. This accessibility made The Twist perfect for bringing people together on dance floors across America. Checker's recording featured a tight instrumental backing and his enthusiastic vocal performance. The production was clean and radio-friendly, while maintaining the energy of rock and roll. The saxophone provided a memorable hook, and the rhythm section kept the beat steady. The twist phenomenon extended beyond music into American culture. Adults embraced the dance alongside teenagers, creating a rare moment of cross-generational unity. The dance became a legitimate cultural movement. The twist succeeded because it made music physical and communal. It wasn't just something you listened to, but something you participated in. The song's cheerful energy and simple message to get up and dance created joy wherever it played. Number 8. Sherry by The Four Seasons. The Four Seasons burst onto the scene in 1962 with Sherry, a song that showcased Frankie Valli's distinctive falsetto and the group's tight harmonies. The record spent 5 weeks at number 1 on the Billboard Hot 100, establishing them as major players in the early 60s music scene. Bob Gaudio wrote Sherry in about 15 minutes, inspired by a name he saw on a hotel marquee. The simplicity of the composition worked in its favor, creating a hook that was immediately memorable. The arrangement featured the Four Seasons' signature sound, Valli's soaring lead vocals supported by precise backing harmonies. The recording session captured the group's energy and enthusiasm. Producer Bob Crew understood how to present the Four Seasons' voices to maximum effect. The production was crisp and clean, allowing every vocal nuance to come through. The instrumental backing was minimal, but effective. Valli's falsetto was unlike anything else on the radio. His unique voice gave the Four Seasons instant recognition and set them apart from other vocal groups. The combination of this distinctive sound with strong songwriting created a winning formula. Sherry represented the beginning of the Four Seasons' remarkable success. The song demonstrated that well-crafted pop music with memorable melodies could compete with the emerging rock and roll sound. Their ability to blend doo-wop influences with contemporary production created something fresh and exciting. The song's lasting appeal comes from its pure catchiness. The chorus is impossible to forget once you've heard it. Sherry captures a moment when American pop music was evolving, but melody and vocal excellence still ruled. Number 7. Wooly Bully by Sam the Sham and the Pharaohs. Sam the Sham and the Pharaohs recorded Wooly Bully in 1965, creating one of the most fun and infectious hits of the decade. The song reached number 2 on the Billboard Hot 100 and became one of the best-selling records of the year. Domingo Sam Samudio wrote Wooly Bully based on a riff he had been playing for years. The song's brilliance lay in its refusal to take itself seriously. The lyrics were playful and mostly meaningless, prioritizing sound and rhythm over narrative coherence. Wooly Bully stood out for its sheer exuberance. Sam the Sham and the Pharaohs weren't trying to make a statement. They were trying to make people move and have fun. This direct approach connected with audiences who wanted music that brought joy. The lasting impact of Wooly Bully comes from its reminder that music doesn't need to be serious to be great. The track's unpretentious energy ensures it still brings smiles whenever it plays. Number 6. My Girl by The Temptations. The Temptations recorded My Girl in 1964, creating what would become their signature song and one of Motown's most beloved recordings. Written by Smokey Robinson and Ronald White, the track showcased everything that made Motown special. Smokey Robinson wrote My Girl specifically for The Temptations, crafting it around lead singer David Ruffin's powerful voice. The instrumental arrangement featured some of Motown's finest session musicians. The bass line, played by James Jamerson, became one of the most recognizable in popular music. Ruffin's vocal performance captured both strength and tenderness. The other Temptations provided backing vocals that enhanced without distracting. Their harmonies were smooth and polished. My Girl reached number 1 on the Billboard Hot 100 in 1965, becoming The Temptations' first chart topper. The song's success established them as one of Motown's premier acts. The song's enduring popularity stems from its perfect execution. My Girl captures the feeling of being in love with such sincerity that it touches listeners regardless of their circumstances. The melody is unforgettable, and the production remains timeless. Number 5. Twist and Shout by the Isley Brothers. The Isley Brothers released their version of Twist and Shout in 1962, creating a recording so powerful it became definitive. The song reached number 2 on the R&B charts and number 17 on the Billboard Hot 100. Written by Phil Medley and Burt Burns, the song was first recorded by the Top Notes in 1961. The Isley Brothers transformed it, infusing it with an intensity that made it impossible to ignore. Ronald Isley's lead vocal was a tour de force of raw emotion. He screamed, shouted, and sang with complete abandon. The energy was contagious, making listeners want to move and shout along. The song became a staple of the early 60s dance scene. Its combination of R&B intensity and rock energy appealed to audiences across racial lines. While the Beatles' later cover introduced Twist and Shout to new audiences, the Isley Brothers version remained the gold standard. Number 4. Dancing in the Street by Martha and the Vandellas. Martha and the Vandellas released Dancing in the Street in 1964, creating a summer anthem that transcended its era. Written by Marvin Gaye, William Mickey Stevenson, and Ivy Jo Hunter, the song reached number 2 on the Billboard Hot 100. The song captured the spirit of celebration and community. Martha Reeves' powerful lead vocal delivered the message with joy and conviction. She made every word feel important and exciting. The Funk Brothers, Motown's legendary house band, provided the instrumental backing. The horn section was particularly prominent, adding bursts of energy. The rhythm section laid down an irresistible groove. The song became an unexpected anthem for social change, though it was written as a simple dance number. Its message of people coming together resonated during the civil rights era. Dancing in the Street has remained relevant across generations because it celebrates something universal. The joy of music bringing people together never goes out of style. Number 3, Can't Help Myself by the Four Tops. The Four Tops recorded Can't Help Myself in 1965, creating one of Motown's most recognizable hits. The song spent 2 weeks at number 1 on the Billboard Hot 100. Written and produced by Holland Dozier Holland, it represented Motown's hit-making formula at its peak. Levi Stubbs's lead vocal was passionate and pleading, capturing the desperation of unrequited love while maintaining an upbeat energy. The other Four Tops provided backing vocals that enhanced the emotional impact. The song's bass line, played by James Jamerson, became one of the most famous in popular music. Its bouncing rhythm gave Can't Help Myself an irresistible momentum. Can't Help Myself demonstrated the Four Tops' ability to deliver both vocal power and commercial appeal. The song worked as a dance track, as an emotional statement, and as pure pop entertainment. The song's lasting popularity comes from its perfect balance. It makes you want to dance while pulling at your heartstrings. The melody is unforgettable, and Stubbs' vocal performance remains one of the great moments in Motown history. Number 2, I Want to Hold Your Hand by the Beatles. The Beatles released I Want to Hold Your Hand in the United States in January 1964, triggering the British invasion and changing American popular music forever. The song spent 7 weeks at number 1 on the Billboard Hot 100 and sold over 12 million copies worldwide. Written by John Lennon and Paul McCartney, I Want to Hold Your Hand was crafted specifically to appeal to American audiences. They created a song with an irresistible hook, sophisticated harmonies, and an energy that felt fresh and exciting.
Oh, please, say to me.
The recording featured the Beatles at their most enthusiastic. John and Paul shared lead vocals, their voices blending in ways that created constant interest. George Harrison's guitar work was sharp and precise, while Ringo Starr's drumming drove the song forward. I Want to Hold Your Hand arrived in America at the perfect moment. The country was still mourning President Kennedy's assassination and needed something joyful. The Beatles provided exactly that. Their music offered hope and excitement. The impact extended far beyond commercial success. It opened the door for British bands to dominate American charts and inspired countless American musicians. The song represented the beginning of a cultural revolution.
I wanna hold your hand. I wanna hold.
Number 1, Good Day Sunshine by the Beatles.
I need to laugh. I'm when the sun is out.
The Beatles recorded Good Day Sunshine for their 1966 album Revolver, creating a song that perfectly captured the feeling of a perfect summer day. Written primarily by Paul McCartney, the track showcased the band's increasing sophistication. McCartney wrote Good Day Sunshine, inspired by the Lovin' Spoonful's Daydream, aiming to capture a similar feeling of carefree happiness. The song's barrelhouse piano gave it a playful quality. This stylistic diversity demonstrated the Beatles' range.
I'm in love and it's a sunny day.
George Martin's production emphasized the song's warmth and brightness. The piano danced through the arrangement with joy. The vocals featured Paul in the lead, with John and George providing harmonies. Good Day Sunshine wasn't released as a single, but it became a fan favorite. Its message of appreciating beautiful weather and good company resonated with listeners. The song celebrated everyday joy rather than romantic love. The enduring appeal lies in its pure positivity. It's simply about feeling good when the sun is shining. The Beatles captured a feeling everyone has experienced and turned it into perfect music.
Good day, sunshine.
These 15 songs represent more than just catchy melodies and memorable hooks. They capture moments of pure joy from a decade that changed music forever. The 1960s gave us songs that made us dance, sing along, and feel good about being alive. From the manufactured charm of the Archies to the Beatles' sophisticated pop mastery, these songs prove that great music transcends its origins. What matters isn't how the music was made, but how it makes people feel. These 15 songs made millions feel wonderful in the 60s, and they continue bringing smiles today. If these songs brought back memories, or just made you want to sing along, hit that like button and subscribe for more trips through the music that shaped our lives.